all that kind of stuff.
Is this edible?
But no, the one I wanted to talk about as an edible is this one. So I'm going to talk about it, and then I'm going to ask you questions. So I talked about growth pattern of leaves. How would you describe this growth pattern?
Alternating.
Alternating, like like a spiral staircase, right?
Yeah.
So it's alternating, but this is a spiral staircase. That's exactly right. You can go up
Boom, boom,
and
boom,
around the stalk as you're going up.
Right.
Okay. What would you say? We looked at a leaf with teeth. I'll pass that around. What would you say is the key appearance of that leaf? Does it have teeth?
No.
No, it's toothless. So that one has a smooth margin around the outside edges. Okay. Remember the other one, the plantain, the veins on it? Turn that one over and have a look at the veins. So notice it has branching veins that go laterally out from the side. The plantain had vertical veins. Now turn it back over. Notice the color of that central vein. That is the only plant that has a brilliant yellow center vein. Okay. Brilliant deep yellow. So that's three key. It's also what we call lance shaped. It's like shaped like a rock at the end of a spear, long and skinny. Okay, like a lance. So it's lance shaped. It has that central yellow vein. It grows like a spiral staircase. This plant can get to be easily this tall. Okay. Right now, the flower buds are just starting on this plant. So the flower buds themselves will grow to be this tall. Okay. And it'll flower from the bottom up. And then it'll go to seed from the bottom up.
What's this plant?
Haven't got there yet. And there is a reason why I do that. Because often when we get a plant name, it gets filed away in our empty files. Okay? So I want you to know the plant. Because they don't care what their name is.
Right.
Right? So know this plant. You could recognize this plant anywhere, and you won't get mixed up with names.
Right.
Now, because of what you've learned already. The other thing, it's always good to feel a stem. Okay, this stem has some edges on it. It's like a square stem. It has edges.
This one the same?
Yep, you can feel the stem. You too. Here, there's another one. Feel the stem. Go ahead, grab one, Mike.
Oh yeah.
Feel the stem. Look at the leaves. Look at that leaf pattern.
I think this is I just harvested this one too.
Yeah, this one I have in my garden too. This is the third most important food plant.
Woohoo! And I don't
in
know
our
its name.
area. Okay.
I don't know it.
Again, when this is young, so maybe up, it can be anywhere from this tall when it's young, and it'll be kind of reddish. And when it's young, the leaves kind of are folded up the trunk, so you won't recognize it as this whirling thing when it's young, because the leaves will all be tucked up the trunk like that. Actually, there's a picture in here, which I'll show you in a minute when it's young. And it'll be like this tall, and the leaves are all folded up, and it'll look red. But if you pull out a leaf, it will have that single vein. You'll be able to see the growth pattern. So it's important to hike at different times of the year, get to know things at different seasons, okay? So when it's young, you can eat the whole entire plant raw. Just pop it in your mouth, pop it in a smoothie, whatever. Up until it's about a foot tall. And the only reason you can't after that is the stem gets too woody, holding up. You know, as it grows, it has to get harder and harder to get this tall. So now it's like, arr, 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 right, instead of chewing it. So this is the nickname for this is wild asparagus, because the stem is a big part of what you're eating, okay? You can cook it any way you want, but you can also eat it raw and put it in smoothies. Now, once it gets mature like this, and the life force energy is still in the leaves and not in the flower, you can steam these leaves, you can make green tea out of these leaves, you can roast these leaves and make black tea out of these leaves, okay? So the leaves are fully usable. Once the flower stalk grows, and we'll look at the ones in my yard after, you can actually eat the flowers. You can put them in your salads, you can put them in your smoothies, whatever. But when they go to seed, unless you've got people in the neighborhood who want this plant growing in your yard, you have to cut it and compost it before the seeds blow in the wind everywhere, which is happening in my garden as of the last hot day we had a few days ago. So I'm desperately running around trying to put it into compost. So this plant is the first one to come back after a fire. So there's your hint. And what it does is after a forest fire, all the phosphorus and other nutrients are depleted from the soil. So this plant grows there and it sucks up the last of the phosphorus. And then when it dies, it puts back into the soil 3 times that amount of phosphorus. So it's like a shock. It's like rescue remedy for the earth. It's a regenerating plant.
Wow.
So this is fireweed. The nickname is fireweed, or the
So-
common name is fireweed.
Never heard.
So you can't make. It's not good to make it's not the best to make a tea from the leaves once it's flowered.
Because the life force energy
It's in
is
the
in the
flower.
flower. Yeah.